Welcome to our English lesson. Today, we will practice our listening and speaking skills. Listen carefully. Cooking at home. I love cooking at home because it is both relaxing and fun. Today, I want to share with you my experience of preparing a delicious meal in my small kitchen. Cooking is a special time for me. It allows me to be creative and enjoy healthy food. In this story, I will tell you step by step how I plan, prepare, cook, and enjoy my meal. This morning, I woke up with a positive mood because I had planned to cook a healthy dinner. I began my day with a light breakfast. I made a bowl of cereal with milk and ate an apple. After breakfast, I sat at my desk and looked at my recipe book and some websites on my phone. I wanted to prepare a pasta dish with fresh vegetables and tomato sauce. I chose this recipe because it is simple and uses ingredients that I often have at home. I wrote down the list of things I needed: pasta, tomatoes, bell peppers, onions, spinach, garlic, olive oil, a can of tomato sauce, dried basil, and some cheese. I was happy to see that I already had most of these items in my kitchen, but I knew I would need to buy fresh vegetables soon. Before I started cooking, I washed my hands carefully and put on my favorite apron. I believe that cooking with a clean space and a clear mind makes the food taste even better. I went to my small refrigerator and took out the ingredients that I already had. Then, I checked my kitchen shelf for my favorite pasta. I found a package of whole wheat pasta, which is healthy and filling. I smiled, thinking about the tasty meal I was about to make. I began by preparing the vegetables. First, I washed the tomatoes, bell peppers, spinach, and onions under cool water. I placed them on a clean cutting board. I took a sharp knife and carefully chopped the tomatoes into small pieces. I sliced the bell peppers into thin strips, diced the onions into small cubes, and cut the spinach into larger pieces. I was careful with the knife and made sure that my fingers were safe. As I chopped, I listened to soft music in the background, which made the activity more enjoyable. Once all the vegetables were ready, I filled a large pot with water and placed it on the stove to boil. I added a pinch of salt to the water and waited until it started to bubble. When the water was boiling, I added the pasta. I set a timer for about 10 minutes, as the recipe said that the pasta should be cooked until it is soft but still a little firm in the center. While the pasta was cooking, I started to make the sauce. I took a large frying pan and put it on another burner on the stove. I added 2 tablespoons of olive oil to the pan and let it heat for a minute. Then, I added the diced onions to the pan and stirred them slowly. The onions became soft and a little transparent. After a few minutes, I added the sliced bell peppers and chopped tomatoes. The vegetables began to sizzle, and the whole kitchen filled with a wonderful aroma. I added a couple of crushed garlic cloves to the pan. The garlic mixed with the vegetables, creating a rich and pleasant smell. Once the vegetables were soft, I poured in the can of tomato sauce. I mixed the vegetables and the sauce together with a wooden spoon. I added a teaspoon of dried basil and a little oregano for extra flavor. I also tasted the sauce and decided to add a bit more salt and a small pinch of black pepper. I let the sauce cook on a low heat for about 5 minutes so that all the flavors could blend together. At the same time, I checked the pasta in the large pot. The pasta was now soft, so I carefully poured the water out using a colander. I returned the pasta to the pot and added a little bit of the pasta water, which helps the sauce stick to the noodles. Then, I poured the freshly made sauce over the pasta and stirred everything gently. To finish the dish, I sprinkled some grated cheese on top. The cheese started to melt slowly over the warm pasta, making the dish look very tasty. After the cooking was finished, I set the table in my small dining area. I used a simple white plate, a fork, and a knife. I also poured a glass of water and placed a small bowl with extra cheese on the table. I felt a sense of accomplishment as I looked at the colorful meal in front of me. The dish had red tomatoes, green spinach, and melted cheese on top. I was proud of my work and happy that I had taken the time to cook a healthy dinner by myself. I sat down at the table and took my first bite. The pasta was soft and full of flavor, and the sauce was both rich and fresh. I could taste the sweetness of the tomatoes and the gentle spice of the herbs. Every bite made me smile, and I enjoyed the meal slowly, appreciating the hard work that I had put into preparing it. While I ate, I thought about how cooking at home is not only a way to make food, but also a way to express creativity and take care of myself. It is a peaceful activity that allows me to relax after a busy day. After finishing my meal, I decided to clean up the kitchen. I washed the dishes, cleaned the cutting board, and wiped down the counters. Cleaning up is part of cooking, and I like to do it while listening to more music. It makes the whole process feel complete. My kitchen is small, but it is my favorite place because it is where I can try new recipes and improve my skills. Sometimes I invite a friend to cook with me, and we share our ideas about food and life. Cooking has become a hobby that brings me joy every day. Today, cooking at home was a wonderful experience. I learned that even a simple meal can be an adventure full of creativity and satisfaction. I enjoyed every step of the process, from planning and preparing the ingredients to cooking, and finally eating the delicious meal. I hope that my story helps you practice your English listening skills and learn new words. Thank you for listening to my story about cooking at home. I encourage you to try cooking something new in your own kitchen. Remember, cooking is a way to care for yourself and to bring a little bit of joy into your everyday life. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next English story. See you next time.